everyone.
Hey everyone.
We will start in a minute, but let me drink my coffee first.
Yeah, she's a bit behind.
I'm a bit behind.
Yeah. I don't often drink coffee, mind, but I was a bit flat today. You know what it's like being training and all this kind of stuff that we do, and sleeping really heavy last night, and I got up and I was just so tired, man.
I had 2 broken nights, but last night I
Yeah,
slept very well. Yeah, we slept on the hottest days. We really slept well during the hottest days of this week.
Yeah.
But
we keep the windows wide open.
Yeah.
And, anyway, so
I would like you to ask, because can you get those 2 books from last week? We showed you in the last episode the old covers of Ozay's book Freedom. Thank you for the people who left a comment and let us know that you read the book. That is the paperback versions and with the old cover, but it is republished and a different designer and everything. So now we would like to show you. Last week the paperback was published. Can you show the people the new paperback? I love paperback formats, and these are the new covers of the paperback version. Yeah, very nice. I'm really happy with it. They are author editions, so it's I noticed that there are a few things that need to be changed, so I'm working on that.
And prologue, they call it a prologue on the back or something?
Oh, it's just
I like what they say about him, her. I like what they say about him, her.
Oh, what do they say?
I'm going to tell you something else about this in a minute, but I'm going to read this to you just to inspire you to read this book.
Okay,
I don't care, you know, how much money we make or don't make or whatever.
That's right.
I'm not on this planet for that. Ozay Rinpoche, the presenter of the Happy Life Show, tells his story of how a simple boy reached enlightenment after going AWOL from the British Army. Ozay slides down a path leading to solitary confinement, locked in a prison cell. He creates a routine to escape. He escaped once, twice actually, but he got caught the first time. His tools: exercise, Bible reading and meditation. He's not a Christian. Barely able to read without previous knowledge of training in meditational practices. Well, that means I could read Ozay could only read, what do they call it when you can't make sense of a sentence? You read so much and, you know, it don't make sense because you're too
You had no attention span?
I don't know what it is.
Do they call it AD?
I remember it's reading and then, you know, pausing, stopping and making sense of it. And
well, dyslexia does that too, isn't it?
Well, I couldn't do that.
No.
And meditation, it taught me to be able to stick with it, to focus and to become more concentrated. And so, anyway, he uses Bible reading, meditation. Barely able to read and write without previous knowledge of training in meditational practice, Ozay finds a way to end his mind and end his suffering. Ozay's story is a universal one of self-discovery and redemption. Freedom, escape the prison of the mind. Try to remember that. But when I first wrote this book, it was for, I only really wrote it for people that was in prison, because the fact is I thought that when you start life off wrong, well, I don't know if it's not really wrong. I mean, there's no such thing as starting your life off wrong, but we believe that there's right and there's wrong. So I kind of, I'm jumping in there with the general public and thinking that kind of way. And what it was for was to help people to, even if you make one mistake in your life, that to inspire you that that's not the written in stone syndrome for the rest of your life. There's no such thing as written in stone. It teaches you, I hope, to become free of all those, what do you call it, where restrictions of the power of your people's beliefs and conforming to all that bullshit that we are so brought up with. And I hoped it would help people who were in prison. But along the way, I come across Ahiranta, and she thought it was, you know, good for not just prisoners, people in prison.
Definitely not, because it freed me out of my prison as well.
Yeah.
So if I can take over for a minute, because he is the bad boy in this relationship, right? Yeah. Well, he's not a bad boy anymore, but he was definitely a bad boy. The choices you made. I like him bad too, so now and then.
Can I be bad tonight?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and I am considered Missy Goody Two Shoes. I like to be
Catholic.
a bad, but I like to be a bad girl too.
Scarred with Catholicism.
Yeah, definitely. But that book, not reading that book, because that book was published after. I'd rather see your face than the book. You can put it away, because I will put it there.
My face is on the book.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's on the cover actually. That is my photography. But that book describes how he freed himself from his own mental prison. Huh? But by listening to your stories, I became free from my physical prison and mental prison. So that's why I said it needs to be published, and that's what we have done. It's also free on the internet. I don't know where the link is. We have put it out there for people to find, so people who can't afford it are still able to read it.
Yeah.
Somewhere as a PDF form. Please, if you really can't afford to buy the Kindle version or the paperback or now the hardcover, please feel free to search the internet. It's out there somewhere as a PDF as well.
And I'd like to say something to Dan again. In case you're still sticking with us, this video.
You have to say who Dan is, because this is another video.
Dan from the Travel Trolls.
Yeah, TV, Travel Trolls TV.
Yeah,
yes.
the van life. Well, not van
Vanlifers.
Yeah, van lifers.
Yeah.
And that's part of us. Our parents just call us gypsies because we like living like that.
We are not gypsies, but we love to travel, don't we?
And something more of a serious issue about. I don't know why I felt I needed to say this, but Dan was there, and I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to say it.
Yeah, say it.
You can't be. Oh yeah, it was about us being happy and in love with each other. And the thing is, we are normal, you know. And but I think that first of all, you've got to learn to live with. You can't have a successful relationship with another human being if you can't live with yourself. And what I mean by that is that when you get up in the morning, it's you who's got the choice to get out of bed this way or that way. And all along that 24 hours that you're awake for, or, well, not 24 hours.
No.
However many hours you're awake for.
Do 16. Try 16.
16 hours of the day that you're awake for. Everything that you do, decide, feel, is your choice.
Yeah.
And first of all, we got to make believe or understanding that we are the creators of our life, and that means we can be happy or we can be unhappy. If we can't be happy within ourselves on our own, we are never going to do that with another human being. And so first, recognize that if you wake up and you're tired and you're miserable, and we all do that. I mean, I do that. And even though I know this stuff, and I always, luckily enough, have the awareness kick in somewhere along the line to recognise, hey, Ozay, not today, Ozay, because you're tired, yes, and you don't react properly, and you're not in balanced energy. And you just got to recognise, take responsibility for your tiredness and the irritability that comes from that, and
pain too,
and pain, oh yeah, that's right. And Dan the man, I love you, Dan. And it's like I don't know if you're aware, you must be, because I see behind the joker there.
He is very smart.
Yeah, I see behind the
I
joker
can see
there,
that,
Dan, you're really much more intelligent than you pretend to be. And you know a lot of things.
I can see that.
You've obviously had a bit of suffering in your life to make you the man that you, and of course Nazi, I see that in her, you know, you're two souls who were meant for each other and found each other, but sometimes little bumping into other people once in a while can set something off that's what do they call it, inert inside us that needs to be woken up. And what I'm saying is that first of all, recognize yourself in any relationship, and if you're not happy, if you can't live with yourself and be happy, then you can't do it with another human being.
But the problem is, I think, that Dan can live really well with himself.
Yeah.
But how is it? Why are we so happy? Because
suffering.
we make a conscious choice.
Yeah.
Every time we are together 24/7, just like Dan and Mass.
Yeah.
And I make a conscious choice to put you before everything else.
Aye.
And you do the same to me, and we always have each other's well-being
right.
in mind. And if I am tired outside of my illness, the normal tiredness as everybody else has, if I have that kind of tiredness, I tell you, I feel tired, so please forgive me if I'm a bit short in answering back, or if I'm a little bit, how do you call it? I never...
Irritable.
Yeah, irritable.
Bitchy.
I was going to say, I'm never really bitchy. You like it if I'm bitchy.
I like it being a bad bitch.
Yeah, no, but then we have increased our awareness through meditation to a level that we are aware of how we react to the other. And because I always have your well-being in mind, I will never want to put suffering upon you.
Well, that's not always an easy thing to ask, is it?
And you do the same back to me. And that's why we appear to be so happy. Of course, we are truly happy. I've never been more happy.
When was the last argument we had?
I've never had an argument with him. I've never had an argument with Ozay, but he argues with me because I'm always right. So? Huh?
Well, I can't remember the first argument we had, to be honest with you.
No, we never argue.
No.
We have, because my English is not my first language.
What do you mean it's not your first language?
I'm Dutch.
It's all domestic.
Yeah, I'm Dutch. So when I just came over to England, in Holland we all learn English, but I wasn't fluent like I am now, although I could express myself perfectly. But now I'm dreaming in English, and if I have to speak in my mother tongue, that takes a little bit of switching over. It's not always easy, but sometimes I would misunderstand a word you would say. And then I had to, I would ask him questions, and that could be perceived as argumentative, but it was just a misunderstanding of me of the meaning of the word.
We had a few like that where it would go around in circles, and then we would come to something, and then.
But we would always work on each other.
This couple of words would mean something completely different to her than what it did to me, and then it didn't never make sense. And what do you mean? Like,
but the point is...
And then we found out it was those couple of words that she didn't have a proper translation.
I didn't have a grip on that, But the point that I wanted to make is that even if we are discussing something, we always have the well-being of the other in mind. And that's why it works. Within us. You don't want to win over me or overpower me. I don't want to overpower Ozay. And that's why it clicks. And why does it click so well? Well, Ozay, before I came, Ozay is a widower. He's now a married man with me, but he lost his late wife, Kay. And before that, he was in a relationship with whom he has 2 boys. And that was a relationship out of hell. And I have been married twice before. So we have both experiences what not to do, what works, what doesn't work. And when we came together in 2001, we knew. The moment I looked in his eyes on the airport when I arrived here in England, I knew I had come home, and I knew I wasn't planning to stay in England. I came here for 6 weeks, and I've never gone back to home.
21 years later.
But the moment we took each other's hand on the airport, it fitted like a glove, and I still exactly know the feeling, and I was determined to make it work. And I think for you was desperate also for somebody besides you to deal with the grieving, because he was still grieving 2.5 years later after his beloved wife died. And we always talk about Kay as well. Kay is not a threat, she's part of this family.
Some
and,
people don't understand that.
No, they don't understand it.
Yeah,
because
it's like
Ozay had
having another affair with someone.
Yeah,
it's not.
But Ozay never divorced Kay.
No, it's strange.
She died from cancer, and they have a daughter together.
Yeah.
And for that daughter's name is Christalou. She's wonderful, and for her it's really important to have her mom being a part of our clan. We have a lovely clan, mostly women, mostly women, because we have 3 daughters between us, and 2 of them love women just as much as Ozay likes women.
And the same women.
So we have daughter-in-laws.
Yeah.
We only have one son-in-law who is absolutely wonderful and takes really good care of his little family.
Yeah.
And so we know what works. We just want an easy life. I think that is what works. And if we are in a situation like yesterday, we saw Dan and Mas had to pack up the tent and the awning and stuff. And Dan is, of course, the one arm banded at the moment. And I know they play roles and play around, but still, you need to. We girls have a different way of going about stuff than men do. And for me, I had a high need of control, which I'm still working on. I have improved, don't you think?
Oh, very, very much so.
But and not for him, but for
recognise-
myself. I just hate being in control.
Yeah, I recognise that as well, and my immature instinct is to react in like what, and then I have to come down and become more aware that that's part of the illness, part of the personality. And one key that's very important if you want a happy relationship is to know that every human being on this planet, including your partner, wants happiness. And the reason you two got together, us two got together, every couple got together, was because they seeking that happiness. And I know we speak about meditation and all the inner stuff, but outwardly we try to seek it there first and in a partner. And so if you know you yourself, you want happiness, you want joy, you want whatever you consider the meaning of love is in your life, then you know your partner wants it as well. And if they don't want it, then they need to go and see a psychiatrist because there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
But it's not true. Even if they pretend they're stupid, if they are psychiatric impending patients come in, it's not true. We all want happiness, and recognise that in every situation that comes up. Mostly negative situations come up, they're derived from tiredness, overwork, expectancy of things, trying to control things that are never going to be controlled, and you're a fool if you think you can control your life. It's just going to take you time to find out that that's not the way to be. Yeah, make plans. Yeah, we are going to go to Cornwall, and but if something happens along the road and it means you've got to turn and go to Exeter, or you've got to go to Bristol, then you go with the plan, and then you go with the flow.
Yeah.
And allow yourself to understand that if your partner gets a bit shitty, that is tiredness, and that partner, just like yourself, wants happiness. And it's true. You will never ever find any proof that it's anything other than that partner wants happiness. And if you break up, it was because they wanted happiness, but something along the way, like a thief in the night, came along and stole something, and it wasn't meant to be that way,
Yeah.
So it's we all want happiness, no matter what happens, what arguments you get into, what conflict you get into, even over in Russia, and the war that's going on. The Russians want peace, they want happiness. The West wants peace, wants happiness, but what's the demon? Is greed and lust for power.
Power,
and we just got to recognise that.
And that's the same in relationships, power.
Yeah.
And why do some people in relationship want power?
Exactly.
Because of insecurity. And what made me find this happiness in this relationship is that I was willing to jump out of the grooves that I had created until that moment. Because if you keep doing the same thing and you keep ending up in the same argument with different people, that means that it's time to look at that groove and think, wait a minute, that groove is not working. I'm going to create another groove. And I think that's what some people not aware of, that if you keep having the same behavior and you come across the same conflicts, then you need to, because you cannot
change something.
Yeah, you cannot change other people and think they caused me to behave like this. No, you can't control other people, but you can control how you react to every given situation.
And you can change. You don't need
you have to
react.
change. You have to change, because otherwise you keep repeating the same thing over and over. And when I came here, I had hit rock bottom. So I knew I had to leave all that I had done so far behind in my behavior and have to observe how you went about life. You went about life so different than me. Is that?
Yeah, I
don't know.
We don't need to be perfect English.
No. So he went about things so differently that I observed it. It was so interesting. And I mentioned that in other talks, so please go and find that out. But I think the willingness to be each other. Yeah.
You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I told you yesterday how beautiful, you make me feel really beautiful.
She is a beautiful soul, honestly, because... we don't have a lot of money, I'll say, but she will, somebody's on the street, I mean, this woman's a saint, honestly, and we walk past, we may not have a lot, and then she's in the burger bar buying the guy on the street some burgers and drinks and whatever, or she's sending the money to some charitable cause and some anyway, that got nothing to do with it. But
no, that's right. But I think when I
She's
see
beautiful, she is.
when I see somebody, thank you. But when I see some suffering somewhere and we have £100, we can share. When there is enough for 4 or 2, there is enough for 4. And it was also in the household I grew up. I have 5 siblings and my parents were just working class. My mom at home, Papa working. And there was always enough food for everybody who would walk in. Not that people would normally visit you around dinner time. There were social rules. But if people unexpectedly were around our home, there was always food for everybody. Sorry. And
it was the 1970s, guys.
And we are financially just ticking over. But there is still space to help other people out. There is still room to say, do you know what? They need it more than we do.
And that's going to bring us to one of our planned talks. This talk and the last one was kind of unplanned. We just moved into it because it felt that way.
Yeah.
But this moves into one of the next talks we are going to have, and that's about miracles, the miraculous. Basically.
Oh yes.
How miracles happen and how they happen because it's our inside state and our inner state of purity and how that affects our environment and the law of attraction.
That's right.
The law of manifestation.
Yes,
and
that's
things
right.
like that.
And we don't do it on purpose.
Yeah, we're going to tell a story about that.
Yeah, we're going
what
to.
happened to us.
Yeah, we're going to do that in the next talk.
You will never believe it. Never.
It
ever.
doesn't matter what
And
they believe.
we don't tell many people, and even the few people we do tell, I don't think they're going to buy the story, but.
Yeah.
I'm here to speak the truth, the way I've witnessed it, and you take it or leave it. And I can also explain the mechanics, which I'm lucky in that respect that I, at the background that I did, to understand the mechanics behind why these miraculous things happened in our life together.
Yeah.
And I think that people will find that very interesting.
Yeah, even if they don't believe it, they might find it interesting.
Yeah, it's just a story otherwise, but an interesting story. You can think of it as a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And because fairy tales are sweet to go to bed.
But before we end this video and start the other video about miracles, because that's what it is.
Miraculous.
The miraculous. Another one. This is not our book, but Ozay's work is published in this one. And this is for the heroes.
Yeah.
This is
the heroes.
That's right. This is for a charity.
Yeah.
I will leave the link below. All the money goes to a charity, so if you are interested, check it out. One of Ozay's poems.
Help the heroes it goes to.
Yeah, one of Ozay's poems is published in this one, and also in this is number 4 out of the series, and I think you are also in series 2.
Yeah.
But I'm not totally sure. But check it out. It's a really lovely book, and it's a wonderful lady. She's a mayor somewhere, Stockport, if I remember correctly. And
in Manchester, that is, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And she asked Ozay to contribute. Janet Slavinsky. Well, I read it as I read it. Massey will recognize it.
Hey, Massey, man.
Janet, for me, it's Janet Slavinsky. She has beautiful long hair, and just like Massey has beautiful hair. I think she had a little bit of, I don't know what happened with Massey's hair, but it's growing nicely. Massey, you look fantastic. I really think you're beautiful. Okay, it's called The Naked Goddess. The Naked Goddess, and I was going to read a poem, but shall I? Or yeah, those who are not interested, bye. Good luck. See you next time.
But it's a poem about
the NHS.
Yeah, I'll speak about that while you're checking.
Yeah.
It was a poem I was inspired during the lockdown, and Janet Slavinsky was helping the heroes, and she writes books. And during the lockdown, it was thought about that we had so many heroes with the National Health Service. And then I thought, well, that was a guy called, from Wales anyway.
Aneurin Bevan.
Bevan, that's right. Yeah, his name slipped my mind for a while. And so I done a bit of research on him, and then I kind of got a little bit inspired to write a story, because it sort of went with the situation that we were going through. We were all in lockdown at the time, and that was, and how thankful we all were to the National Health Service. And of course, I thought about Aneurin Bevan, and so I made a poem about.
Let's go. I need glasses, otherwise I can't see. I'm blind like a bat. So page 16, in gratitude to Aneurin Bevan and his heroes within the NHS, by Ozay, Tulku, Rinpoche. Okay, here we go. A poem in English with a Dutch accent. The winter of 1897. On a silvery moonlit night, a mother gives birth to a child prodigy. His name, Aneurin Bevan, son of a Welsh miner, nursed to the sound of chapel choirs, his humble home the valleys of Wales. In dales and meadows green he played, with scuffed knees and granite slates, broken up by pits and iron ore machines. His life threatening harsh, hard, his prospects grey. As he looked out on summer's day, his eyes peered into the deepness of his soul, shaped by his home, smoke, work, and black coal. He suffered much, and how he beckoned to set us free from the brutal toils, the disease of an poisonous industry. From the valleys he came, a beautiful mum's darling. To the House of Parliament he marched, a piece of coal in hand from the land of his father. Politicians' face snarling. He broke the breath of black dust with its threat. Politicians obliged to listen. Bevan taught them how. His dream? Everyone to be treated, made healthy, cared for free. He stood strong, resolute until the government agreed to a national health service, forever to be. Now understand this gifted vision of a man born in 1897. His voice was not in vain. Honor our NHS heroes and never forget the name, Lord Ahiranta Bevan. Ta-da! Yeah, just wonderful. This was just when we all stood out clapping on Thursday night. And this book will always remind us about the lockdown, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I wanted to leave this video here, if you don't mind. Do you want to add something to it,
That's
darling?
fine, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Oh, he's done. He's done for now.
Did you watch that movie?
No.
And was it the 40-year-old virgin or something?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like on top of her doing it, like, you know, and then he goes, I'm done, I'm finished. And like she's left, what? I'm done, he said, I'm done, man.
And Ozay made it.
Use your vibrator, finish yourself off.
That is a joke between us now too, isn't it? Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah. Ooh, that's so improper, talking about sex. Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much for watching again, especially thank you to all our new subscribers. And before I forget, because our channel is about happiness in all facets, did you know that Tammy is one of our loyalist, is that a word?
Loyal
Fan of our channel, Tammy van Duin. Check her out. She has a really lovely channel. Tammy in Tiaras, I believe she changed the name, but now it's also called Tammy in Tiaras because she always wears tiaras, absolutely gorgeous.
She's a princess, she is.
Yes, and
Was it the Queen?
she added to her channel Happiness After 60.
Aye.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Well done, Tammy. We love your new title, your new
I think
website.
It's easier when you get older,
Yeah.
it's easier. So it's a good point, right?
Yeah.
Age.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
good. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.